Welcome to our monthly meditation. Each time we want to enter a little deeper into the science of meditation. We begin with our homage to the enlightened ones who have transcended the chains of cause and effect of karma. By paying homage, we connect to the state of enlightenment, which is known by various names: nirvana, moksha, Buddhahood, liberation, our true nature, our true self, our true being. Whatever name it goes by, before we begin, I would like to recapitulate the purpose of recognizing our states. As you know, this is the core practice we begin with. Those of you who began meditating with us a few years ago, you will know that this is what we started with, and it is like a thread that passes through all the practices we practice. Why must we recognize the states occurring to us? It is because in our embodiment as beings, in our case as human beings, we are subject to these occurrences, these experiences. They are like pictures shown in a movie. Our being, our awareness is like the movie screen, and the experiences of karma, of cause and effect that occur to us are like the pictures on the movie. They occur upon the screen of our being. Another way to understand it is our being, our awareness is like the sky, and the experiences of karma that occur are like clouds. They come, then they pass on. This morning, for example, I weighed myself and was shocked to see that since the retreat we had in the Swiss Alps, I have gained an astounding 4 kilograms. Now you could say this is an innocent occurrence, but it is not so innocent, because prior to the retreat, about 5 or 6 weeks prior to that, when I had weighed myself, I was 3 kilograms less than when I went to the retreat. So I'm not good at maths, but I'm sure you can calculate why it is a problem. Now this is a daily, everyday occurrence. Why is it important to recognize the state? The state is one of worry, or it is one of irritation. In my case, I blame Tripuraji because she's the one who buys the chocolates and the chips and all those things which cause it. But recognizing the state, the actual state that occurs, the irritation, is of the essence. Because that irritation, my dears, is not merely an effect. We think it is an effect. I weigh myself, I see the incredible weight gain, I cause the blame, meaning I assign the blame, and we think this is an effect. But in reality, it is also a cause. It is a new cause for the moods that I have during my day. Do you see this? States we experience are not only effects. That is what the ordinary mind keeps thinking. It thinks my co-workers are difficult, or my work situation is difficult. Therefore, as an effect of that, I am upset. Yes, that is a temporary effect, but that very state I am in is also the cause. It's the new cause of the effects during the course of the day and further on. Now take my situation. You could say it is innocent, but it's not so innocent. If you think about it, gaining 7 kilograms just across 6 or 7 weeks is strange, right? That means something is wrong. Either I'm eating wrong, or it is the weather, or whatever, because I haven't eaten more than usual. So now, recognizing this irritation, I could carry this irritation outward. I could go into a series of negative moods. And these would be the effect of my state. And I couldn't blame those on other people. Very important to see that. The actual blame is the state that I am in and that I'm not clearly recognizing. Because my mind is moving too fast. I'm in the bad mood because I have gained weight. And then I assign the blame and I say it's her fault, right? I actually told her it's her fault. You can ask her. I told her, why are you buying all these things, right? So, but that's of course the fun part because I am slightly wise, so I do know it's not her fault, right? So, but do you see, this is what you and what most of the people are constantly in. The state is there in you. It causes new states. It gives rise to new states, but you haven't recognized the key state that you should be recognizing. The underlying state. And that is why we meditate. And don't worry, we will meditate today. That is why we meditate, to recognize the state. Without recognizing the state, we are just a victim of the state. And not only we, others too. Now, if I wouldn't clearly recognize my own irritation, I would be, causing trouble for Tripuraji, or maybe our children. The reality is I'm just in a bad mood. That's just the reality. If I don't recognize that, and then I allow all these other states to occur without recognizing the real thing going on, then I'm a victim. The other people around me are the victim. And I will come up with all kinds of stories, all kinds of explanations why my situation is what it is and everyone else is to blame. And in the end, it's the government and it's the tax people. And it's, do you see? That's most people. In German, we have this expression, the podgy men with big bellies who go to pubs and drink beer. And they give all these speeches, right? They sit there at their table and they give all these speeches. Everyone's to blame, only not them. Right? So this is called a Stammtischredner in German. I don't know how to call this in English. I'm sure you have a term for it. The pubs, you know, the people who give the speeches at the pubs.
At the main table.
At the main table at the pub, right? They give all these speeches and everyone else is to blame, right? Except them. So you see, meditation tries to reverse this. We begin to see, actually, my state is the cause of 95% of my problems. Instead of realizing that, instead of thinking that my state is the effect of other people. I hope I've brought this across to you. The Buddha begins the Dharmapada with that. Don't blame others for your state. Yes, sure, there is some history, of course, but your state is right now your state. That is why we practice meditation, to recognize that. Following the recognition comes the acceptance of the state. Now, this is something that some of you didn't yet fully understand, because I get these questions where I realize, oh my goodness, the people are thrashing themselves, they're judging themselves. So they have recognized the state, but now they're judging themselves for the state. That is not what we're doing here. We recognize the state, then we accept the state. Why? Because only the acceptance of the state, the unconditional acceptance, actually leads to its gentle transformation. If we do not accept the state, it can never transform. Seeing our state with aggression, with violence, oh, I don't want this state, only increases it. Please understand this. Please accept this. This is the wisdom of thousands of years of meditation, of great meditators. Don't think they are fools. They know what they're talking about. Being aggressive with your state, judging your state, being violent with your state, trying to change your state, will never change your state. You see, this is the secret. Only accepting your state gently, gently leads to its transformation. So now going back to my situation, so I felt all this irritation arising. It's her fault. And I went through a moment where I thought, how is this possible? I'm not eating more. Really? So it must be her fault. And then, you see, I'm teaching all these teachings, and then I thought, okay, for one moment, I thought, this was only about 1.5 hours ago. So I thought, okay, in 1.5 hours, you're going to teach meditation. So think for a moment what you're actually teaching. And then I looked at my state, and I said, all right, this is a state of blame. It's a state of unacceptance, right? And then I accepted the state. All right, I'm frustrated because for some mysterious reason, my body seems to be gaining weight, and it's always the same in winter. So, all right, I need to adjust the diet. Right? Do you see? This is the acceptance. Now, the non-acceptance of the state, what does that lead to? The non-acceptance leads nowhere. Therefore, please remember the sequence. Recognizing your state. Phase number 2, acceptance of your state. Absolute acceptance. And that gently leads to the transformation. What is the transformation? A gentle thought, all right, accept it, and then gently do something about it. All right, so the meditation now is, as always, we relax completely. Take a deep breath. We relax and we let out all our stress. And we begin to recognize our states gently. Recognizing and accepting. Recognizing and accepting. Completely. I will be quiet now for quite some time. Please remember recognizing, truthfully, honestly recognizing, and then accepting, and going back to recognizing. as you are accepting the states you are recognizing clearer and clearer, relax into this stream of acceptance. See how, with the acceptance of each state, a relief or a relaxation occurs. But do not become slack. Stay vividly aware. Now pay close attention to the quality of your mind when you accept everything that occurs. Absolutely everything. Every single occurrence, every instant of experience, every emotion, every memory, every thought. Look at the quality of your mind when you accept everything. If you sense a clear space of acceptance, like a stream of acceptance, then you can relax further and just look at your own consciousness. Look at that which is accepting. Look at the observer, that which is observing. And completely relax as you do so. Look gently and relax. if your mind becomes distracted, bored, or restless, recognize and accept that distraction, that boredom, and that restlessness, like you did before. You come back to the recognizing and the accepting. Now, for the last few minutes, we will expand this acceptance towards all beings. Even as we recognized our own states and accepted their presence, we now recognize all beings just as they are, especially those connected with us, and we accept them too, wishing them Maitri, to be happy, to evolve at their own pace. We recognize them, their positive sides, their not so positive sides, and we accept them exactly as we accept our own states, wishing them well and gentle transformation. May you be happy. May you be at ease. We expand our sense of Maitri into a completely universal space of acceptance. No one is going to change because we exert force on them or because we want something from them. Therefore, accepting them as they are is a much, much more wise approach. Moreover, it dissolves the tensions we have in our heart. Absolute inner acceptance, absolute outer acceptance. See the state of mind such acceptance brings about. Does not mean we take abuse or don't do anything. It means we fundamentally realize that change always occurs slowly and at everyone's own pace. Those of wisdom know others cannot be changed by force, but only through gentleness. Thus, an all-embracing expanse of acceptance is Maitri. Traditionally, such a meditation always produces a positive energy or a positive merit, what we call punya, something that purifies, something that uplifts. This is the reason we say why such meditations bring about peace in ourselves, why they make us happier. But it is crucial always to have a sense that even this positive energy or merit should be shared with others. Otherwise, we meditate with a sense of self-centeredness, with a manipulative sense. I want to do this so I feel better. And that inherently doesn't work. This is why every such meditation is completed with the dedicating the merit or sharing the positive energy with all others. It is essential to do this. Now, if there are any questions anyone would like to ask based on their own practice, what they feel when they practice this deeply. You can also write them, whatever you wish. Right, then you are liberated into your Sunday, and I am on diet now. So, someone asks, sometimes when I meditate I feel very spaced out, but without any sense of bliss. Yes, it is a good question, or it's a good statement. It is important to ground ourselves by always recognizing the state we are in. There are deep states of samadhi. Samadhi means concentrative absorption or meditative absorption. And very often it is in Indian origin people or people who are still connected to the ancient traditions where these states come about relatively easily. The problem with such states is not that they are not useful or not precious. The problem is they create an experiential tension with this realm here, this world of experience here. Therefore, even in such a deep meditative absorption, one should clearly recognize the absorption. That is the solution here, my dear. There's nothing going wrong. It is a process you're undergoing, but you have to recognize the meditative absorption rather than just go along with it, into it. Because the meditative absorption is just one particular state, you see. It's a temporary profound state or deep state, but it's going to end. As long as you are embodied, it's going to end. This is very important to understand. People have this idea that they will go into a samadhi state or a deep meditative state, and then somehow they will, come out at the other end of the wormhole or something like that, and they will come out as a Buddha or as a deity or something. That's never going to happen as long as you're embodied. You'll always come back to your ordinary consciousness. Therefore, when you're in the meditative state, you can just as well recognize the state you are in. Right? You can recognize it as, this is deep absorption. And then you continue there. And that itself, the recognition itself, grounds you. That is why the Buddha clearly said in the Satipatthana Sutta to always know the state one is in. Even the highest meditative state should be recognized for what it is. And people don't want to do that. You see, people want to ride the wave. Especially, please don't misunderstand, especially people of Hindu origin always want to ride the wave into some kind of ecstasy. Why? Because there's this meme going around where you think that's what you're supposed to be doing. People of other backgrounds don't have this. I can see this because I deal with all kinds of people. It is especially people of Hindu background that want to ride the wave into ecstasy. This is because you read this as children, or your parents tell you this, or you hear that some guru does that, or some Sri Ramakrishna, or this and that. So you have all these ideas, or Ananda Mahima. You have all these memes going on. Oh, that they're in the ecstasy, they are there, here and there. So you have the idea that that's what you're supposed to be doing. And it's so deeply ingrained in you that no matter how many times I will say it, it's still there. Right? So you'll hear me say it many, many more times. But it's really the problem, huh? It's your bias. You think that's what you're supposed to be doing. And you cannot accept me saying, no, that's not true. You see, this is the problem. So if you completely remove the idea of going into some ecstasy or going into some this or that state, if you remove that idea and you accept that actually it is about the gem of your mind here. You exploring the gem of your mind here. Right here. Not going into any this or that. Then you can easily recognize the state. Yes, now I can see the absorption is deeper. It is deeper. It is deeper. But I don't lose myself in the absorption. I recognize the quality of mind as the mind is becoming more concentrated. And I recognize deeper. And there's the deeper recognition, and the deeper recognition. But I can just as well think, and right now I have to go and prepare my child's homework, or I have to go and prepare my child's whatever. You understand? That's the essence. If you're losing yourself, you are doing something sort of too extreme. Any further question? So in other words, when you sense the spacing out, you just cut it through. You cut through the spacing out. Ah, this is nonsense. It's not going to lead it. You just cut through it. And you come back to the wakeful mind that has recognized that spacing out. And I know it disappoints some of you because you think, oh, but I want to melt into infinity. I want to, right? I know I disappoint you, but you see, this is the road to realization. The other thing is the road to spacing out, right? And this is the road to realization. Any further question? All right, then let us finish. And I wish you a wonderful day, as I said, and I wish myself a wonderful diet. Thank you all, and see you latest in 1 month or in some other earlier sessions. Wishing you well.